So picture this, a quiet plain in England. You've got this silent, powerful circle of stones that's been standing guard for, well, millennia. It's an image we all know, right? It's the symbol of the ancient world. But what if the biggest question isn't how they build it, but something else entirely? Let's get into it. First off, we really have to wrap our heads around the time scale we're talking about here. This monument was built by people who left behind zero written language, no historical records at all. It is, and I mean this quite literally, older than history as we know it. You know, it's so easy to get fixated on the how. How did they move those massive stones? And that's a great question. But is it the real puzzle? What if the greatest mystery of Stonehenge isn't about engineering, but about something far more human? Okay, so to even begin to answer that, we have to start with the facts. Let's ground ourselves in what archaeologists and scientists have actually managed to piece together from the evidence they left behind. Right, so the first thing to know is that Stonehenge wasn't some quick construction project. We're not talking about a decade or even a century. This thing was a massive, multi-phase undertaking that stretched across an incredible 1.5 millennia. Yeah, 1,500 years. Just let that number sink in for a second. That's more than 60 generations of people dedicating themselves to a single, continuous project. Can you even imagine starting something today, knowing that your great-great-great, well, you get the idea, 60 times over would be the ones to finish it? It's wild. And during all that time, they were pulling off some absolutely incredible feats. Take the smaller blue stones, for example. They somehow transported those all the way from the Preseli Hills in Wales. That's a journey of about 230 kilometers. I mean, what a massive logistical challenge that must have been. And then, of course, you have the big ones, the sarsen stones, the huge, iconic pillars that we all picture. These things weigh up to 25 tons. Tons. Moving them and then standing them upright took way more than just brute force. It required some brilliant engineering. So you see what's happening here? You've got this crazy long-distance logistical puzzle with the blue stones. And then you've got this raw, heavy-lifting engineering problem with the massive sarsens. The builders are facing two very different kinds of problems, and they came up with solutions for both. This really breaks it down perfectly. For the blue stones, the mystery was logistics. How do you organize a massive effort over a huge distance? For the sarsen stones, it was pure engineering. How on earth do you move and lift something that heavy? And they solved both. But here's the thing. That still isn't the biggest challenge they managed to overcome. Okay, now we're getting to the absolute heart of this whole story, because the true challenge wasn't stone, it was time. This wasn't about power, it was about purpose. And this, right here, is the key to understanding everything. The people who dug the very first ditches at Stonehenge way back in 3000 BCE, they had zero hope of ever seeing the final stones raised. They were working for a future they would never, ever know, for a vision held by their children and their children's children, and on and on. So how is that even possible? How do you keep a project like that going? Well, it all comes down to this one idea, cultural continuity. It's the ability of a society, with no writing, to pass down a complex plan, a shared belief system, and a collective goal from one generation to the next. Honestly, that is the real marvel of Stonehenge. I mean, seriously, just pause and think about that. How do you maintain the architectural plan, the very specific astronomical alignments, and just the sheer motivation for a project over 1,500 years, using only stories, rituals, and shared beliefs? It's mind-boggling. Which, of course, brings us to the ultimate question. Why? Why pour so much energy over so many lifetimes into this one single spot on the landscape? Well, the answer seems to be all about bringing people together. The evidence tells us it had many uses. We know it works as a celestial calendar, perfectly aligned with the solstices. We know it was a place for major rituals and a burial ground for important people. Some even think it was a center for healing. But what do all those things have in common? They're all communal activities. The very act of building this thing, over all those centuries, would have forged an incredible bond between different groups of people. So, let's reframe this whole thing. The mystery of Stonehenge isn't that ancient people were smart enough to build it. Of course they were smart enough. We should never doubt their intelligence. The true mystery and the absolute marvel is that they were coordinated enough, that they were unified enough to see it all the way through. And in the end, that's what Stonehenge really is. It's a testament to something much more enduring than just force. It's not a monument built by the power of a single king, but by the shared patience of countless generations.
And, maybe that's the most powerful idea of all.